Greetings, Goblins and Geist.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Blake.
And welcome to
The
Cloudpost. Today we are shuffling up for you guys another awesome episode of Brews.
And Brews.
So, that being said,
today we have
a Legion Brewing Sour Ale.
Supernova. This one, they have different Supernovas. Mm-hmm. This one is the Cranberry Orange Sour.
Yeah, very awesome. So, Charlotte local.
What it says on the front? It says Friends and Beer.
Friends and Beer. Can you beat that?
Can't go wrong.
Yep, so
Charlotte local, North Carolina. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Let's crack these bad boys open.
For another brew.
And brew. Beautiful.
All right, so these are so tasty, though.
They are very tasty. I am loving that already. Beautiful cake to it.
Oh, man. So what we're shuffling up, we've got, of course, more MTG Arena for you today, being that this is the Cloudpost. And
back to work again.
Yes, back to Historic. And I'm going to kind of ask Blake some things about what he has in front of us. But this is the brew, if you will, to go with our delicious other brew. So what do we have here, Blake?
Deck tag here is a Grixis of deck. Right,
yeah. So let's go ahead.
I'm still stuck in my good old Lazav is mana, 2 mana, and Frick is pretty solid if it's a good card. Right off the bat, he's going to surveil when he enters.
Mm-hmm. ETB.
He's going to throw something in the graveyard most. Usually you want to throw something in the graveyard for the off. And usually you want to throw Kroxa. Kroxa.
Yes.
Things.
So that's what you're leveraging in this deck is really. Those are the all-stars of the deck, right? The point is,
Lazav, Kroxa.
This card, Kroxa, this activated ability lets you essentially turn it into Kroxa.
Oh yeah, he turns into Kroxa. He doesn't get the ETB like Kroxa does, so he doesn't sack himself.
Gotcha.
But I mean, so long as he's like ready to act,
which is what you want anyway, right?
Well, yeah, you want to sack if you play Kroxa, you'll sack Kroxa. But like you usually play him like turn 3, and then turn 4, you're like ready to swing with him. He becomes a Kroxa, and it's like, well, you just got smacked with a Kroxa, and then you can play your Kroxa as well because he doesn't. Name isn't Kroxa. His name is always Lazav.
Yeah.
So you could have him and Kroxa as both Kroxas, and it's like hard to beat two Kroxas.
It is because let's go to that card then over here. So obviously, this is the one and only Titan of Death's Hunger,
Elder Giant
themselves. So you got Kroxa. Tell us a little bit about this card. I mean, it's been popular for a while, Blake.
I think it will forever be popular. And a creature comes in, on a discard a card. An omelet. It's just powerful. It's just 3 damage immediately. Pretty much just a bolt. It's like a 2-mana bolt, which is fine, and they discard a card. Super powerful. And then the escape, you exile 5 of the cards. Comes back, and he's just a fat 6/6, and every time he swings, he gets the same ability to trigger.
Yep.
So that's what you want to do with Lazav. You'll make his ability trigger. Opponent usually can't beat that kind of stuff. You're set up for it. I will say I have had some bad matchups. Deck does take a lot of its own life. We'll talk about that in the one. Go on over there for me.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the spells you got.
So we got Bloodchief's Thirst. I basically messed around with one of these builds I saw online, and it is really similar to like a Rakdos control aggro deck.
It's only really splashing blue, right?
It is splashing blue for Lazav. I find this playing very different from the Rakdos deck. Being the blue stuff. We'll talk about that in a second. But it's very much like, look at your card, okay, look at the top card of your library, throw it away. It's like, you gotta kind of perfectly time the things you want to draw and like throw away, especially because you'll see Dragon the Ridge Channeler down there. Yeah. She'll be a huge deck plays the way.
Yeah.
So we'll start out with just some removal spells.
So you got Fatal Pushes, Bloodchief's Thirst.
Yeah, the build that I did see of this deck didn't run either.
Interesting.
Neither of those.
Yeah. So this is your brew on it.
Yeah, this is my brew on the deck that I saw. And it did run Thought Erasure, which was not a bad choice. That one's kind of like a Thoughtseize. Also ran Drown in the Locks, which I found Drown in the Locks really, really rough in this match. Sometimes they would work, sometimes. A lot of the time they'd be dead draws in my hand because they either Soul Guide Lantern their deck or their graveyard away and it was gone forever, or they just didn't have anything in the graveyard to begin with because they didn't discard them enough. So I was like, okay, well, they're basically mostly removal cards. So I was like, what can I make them remove like 1-drop removal spells.
Yeah, these are clutch always.
The
really.
Bloodchief is more for planeswalkers, but you know, you can always use it for.
Yeah.
Fatal Push card.
Yeah.
Inquisition of Kozilek is the next one. I know it's got.
Yeah, super cool art. But yeah, of course, your discard package of Inquisition and Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I did cut down a Thoughtseason and bumped up an Inquisition because I was taking so much damage. I found myself deck that better against the sideboard is mono red.
Yeah,
mono red hurts. So I have beat it a few times, but if you take too much life from the bat, it's over.
Gotcha.
Go down a little bit more. You get Dragon Rage Channeler.
Yeah.
You guys know what that does. It eventually becomes.
If you're playing historic, you know what this card is. But yes.
And next is Unholy Heat, more removal. Also Planeswalker Hate. Powerful. Yeah. And, like a lot of the time, you're gonna hit the Delirium. It's not hard to hit.
Yeah, and these are both of your cards that care about Delirium, right? And of course, this enables itself with the Surveil.
Yes.
So yeah, but yeah, Unholy Heat, Super All-Star as well. Okay, and then you are main decking 2 Soul Guide Lanterns.
Yeah, you gotta hate the graveyards. You gotta hate them because if they hate yours, you're gonna.
And this is best of 1, so you're keeping these in. Okay. Let's talk about now. We've
also,
talked about
also
Lazav.
This works with Delirium.
Of course, yeah, that's definitely being that it's an artifact is huge.
Yeah, it does help with Delirium. You'll see. I even threw a Chandra in, which is also helping with Delirium.
Yeah, and it's just a good card. But yeah.
Go up to the
I like
drop there, Ledger Shredder.
But yeah, we've talked about Lazav and Kroxa, but now we got Ledger Shredder.
I can't say his name.
Could be a tongue twister.
It is a bit of a tongue twister.
But this is a card from New Capenna that is really cool.
He is this card. I called you about this deck, and you're like, oh, maybe try Ledger Shredder, and he has performed ungodly amount. He is so powerful.
I think it helps your threat density, but it churns through the deck just like you want it to.
Yeah, the original build of this did not have. It only ran 4 Lazavs, 4 Kroxas, and 4 Dragon Rage Channelers, and that just didn't feel threatening enough.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's a good 2-drop creature that Lazav can also copy? And a 1/3 flyer is solid, but
with
a 1/3 flyer with Connive is insane. This thing usually gets huge, and your opponent also helps make it huge.
Yeah, exactly. That's like I would say the probably under-read part of the ability is that your opponent's casting multiple spells a turn triggers.
And one of the biggest things with this creature synchronizes with the rest of the deck. It helps with the Dragon Rage Knives, and it also Delirium.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we're gonna put all this in the graveyard, and so many times,
absolutely,
so many times I'll have like a Lazav in my hand, and it's just like, okay, it doesn't turn anything. Oh, never. Throw it in the graveyard, like gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, at this point, I have a Kroxa ready to go.
Yeah.
It's just stupid powerful. It's very fun.
I'm excited to see how it works.
Sometimes you want Lazav to become that just to get the flyer in.
Yeah.
And it's just
get some damage in.
That goes.
And then of course to kind of enable the deck, another blue card that you do have is Expressive Iteration.
And the part with this is Expressive Iteration. Almost every time you cast it, you're going to cast another spell.
Yes.
Which is going to make you connive.
Yes.
So it's like, whoa, it just keeps going, dude. Yeah. The deck is just so synergistic.
Yeah. So what else we got over yonder? We got some commands.
Prismari Command, super powerful card.
That seems like a clutch one of as well. I mean, just it's a flexible card. Yeah.
Super.
Yeah. And then this card seems obvious for the deck, perhaps, but returning some of these cards to your hand, creatures to your hand, seems great.
So actually, I bunted a few matches earlier. I didn't think about holding the card against Parhelion. I had Parhelion, and I could have blown it up with this.
Destroy artifact.
And I was like, oh man, like I didn't have a mana open, but I just should have thought about it the turn before. I was like, I could have beaten the deck. I could have beaten the combo.
Yeah. It's a flexible card. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was how that worked. But it was pretty cool, and obviously Chandra's.
Right.
Now in this deck, I do have there's a bug in my room.
A
little buggy. That's go.
So what you got on this?
He must die.
He must die. What you got on this mana base?
Did you just catch it? Oh my god. That was amazing.
I don't know if we need to touch on it, but I mean, you got some shock lands, so this is the painful part of the deck, like you said, but they're going to be your best enablers, right? You're doing 4 Watery Grave, 4 Blood Crypt, 3 Steam Vents.
Yes. So I toned it down a little bit to Arf Coast, Shipwreck Marsh. Yeah. Because I was taking way. Yeah. I basically felt like I was playing Death.
Because there's no way for the deck to gain life, correct?
Unfortunately not.
Right.
I'm still tinkering with that in my head, but there's not a lot of life gain on.
No, really, in this color combination, you're mostly leaning on black.
Yeah.
And
then it's like, is it going to play 2 black for whatever I'm playing?
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. Maybe I mess with it one day. I might throw in maybe like 1.
Yeah. to give a Kroxa lifelink, which could be huge, but you know.
I didn't think about that. Usually when you play Kroxa, you gotta just win. We'll see how it goes. Check it out. So thank you guys for checking out the video. Hope you like and subscribe to the channel if you like things like this. And stay tuned for the next video because that'll be the actual gameplay.